Howdy, folks. And here we are again. Wow, I'm on a roll. Two videos in less than 24 hours. All right. So today what we're going to talk about is something that so many people slash women have questions about because it truly is a confusing subject. And so what we're going to do is we're going to lay piece by piece out and then make a decision. So what am I even talking about? I'm talking about, should you get your hormones balanced or should you get on weight loss prescriptions? And if so, which ones? Oh man, this is kind of a loaded subject for obvious reasons. I mean, hormones are so intricate and so many practitioners and prescribers have no clue what they're doing. And I see it literally every day. I see women, if they're on hormone replacement therapy, most of the time it is so wrong, it's doing more harm than good. And if they are on it and it's not doing harm, it's like they're not even on it. It's enough for a cricket. And you can't live an optimal life if you are not optimized hormonally. And I would say because of this, and this, and this. But like I said, that discussion is it's so long and so lengthy, and it would take so much explanation per section, meaning per thyroid section, per per metabolic section, per sex hormone, meaning estrogen, progesterone, sex binding globulin hormone, and testosterone, all those, because they all fit together like a puzzle. And there's just, I mean, I don't think this is the platform, or maybe it's the platform, but it's not the video. It's not the video to do that. But just very simply put, the reason I'm making this video is because I get this question so freaking much. Women specifically, think um, they can just take a weight loss medication and that's it. And that's it. And that's why I titled this, Should You Take Hormone Replacement Therapy? Which can, in and of itself, help you lose weight if you're not on it. And we'll get to that in a second. Or should you take, and I'm just going to choose this because it's the most popular, is semaglutide, which is Wegovy and Ozempic, etc. Uh, so I touched on this in a prior video, but this video is going to be a little bit more in depth. And I want to start with weight loss medications. And they're really all over any kind of marketing campaign or platform, whether it be television or Netflix or YouTube. The ads are just inundated with these medications. And I know what some of you are probably saying. It's like, well, if you're not of age where you need to be on hormone replacement therapy, should you take fill in the blank, whatever? Maybe, maybe. Again, that's another video, but this video is specifically addressing those women who are right at that age, 40-ish and above, maybe perimenopausal. Maybe I've had 30-year-olds in menopause, so it is possible, especially surgical menopause. But if you choose, or if your practitioner recommends whatever, and you end up on, again, just for simplicity's sake, we're going to say semaglutide. If you end up on semaglutide, and what this is doing is it's suppressing your hunger and your thirst mechanisms. What that means is you're not eating. What that means is you're not getting nutrients to every single part of your body that requires it to sustain you. your hair, your bones, your eyes, your metabolic system, your heart, everything suffers because you don't have proper nutrition. Now, can you can you lose weight? Of course you can lose weight with these compounds because that's why they're on the market. It works. But what you're also losing is your immune system, bone bone density. Have a before and after DEXA scan and tell me if I'm not wrong, or tell me if I am wrong. And continued use of these, they're called GLP-1 agonists, and there could be other substances that aren't GLP-1s that are weight loss, like AOD 9604. That is a peptide that helps suppress the hunger mechanism. But the problem with those is if you are not eating, you're risking organ damage because long-term, prolonged use is suppressing that hunger, suppressing that thirst, and you end up becoming dehydrated, your organs become dehydrated, and then that's a long laundry list of bad things that could potentially happen to you. So let's just say that you're taking these and you don't need hormone replacement therapy. Do you know that you don't need hormone replacement therapy? Just because you're 40 and you're thinking, oh, I'm not at that age yet, that's not necessarily true. You may need even if you still have a period, you still may need a little tweak in the hormones that I previously mentioned to facilitate or jumpstart your weight loss, i.e., metabolism. And if you do that, you may not even need these prescription weight loss injections or pills, or they come in a lot of different delivery methods now. So I encourage you to please go get lab work done and see how you're looking on hormones. Because if you could do a simple tweak, and that could happen in a number of different ways, you might not need a prescription weight loss pill that's going to suppress your appetite and suppress your thirst and could potentially cause you problems in the future. Okay, so that's number one. Let's say you are on hormone replacement therapy and you need to be, or you're not and you need to be. Let's say you're of age, and of age I mean menopausal age, where, and again, another video for those folks who say, I'm not getting on hormone replacement therapy, it's dangerous. Well, not true. Could be true, but of a certain age, not true. So let's say your hormones, you have no idea what's wrong. You are overweight, you have a spare tire, you are on keto, you're on intermittent fasting, and you're doing all of these crazy diets, and you lost a little bit of weight initially, and now you're not losing any weight, and you feel miserable, and you've got the spare tire, and your sleep sucks, and you're moody, and you have no libido, and the list goes on. And you think it's because you're 30 or 40 pounds overweight. You think if you remove that 30 or 40 pounds, all of this other stuff that I just mentioned is going to be fixed. Not the case. Not the case. Everything that I mentioned has less than zero effect on everything that I mentioned. Your weight. Yes, potentially it could cause one or two of those things. Maybe like, oh, I'm 30 or 40 pounds overweight. In your head, I look gross, therefore so-and-so is not going to want to be with me, so therefore that suppresses your libido. Okay, I'll give you that one. But everything else that I mentioned, your lack of energy, your constant fatigue, your brain fog, your spare tire, your inability to sleep, your grumpiness, etc. People, this is classic hormonal imbalance. But you think if you lose weight, it's going to get fixed. Nah, Wrong, 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 wrong. It's wrong. The only thing that fixes hormone imbalance is hormone replacement. That's it. It's not Ozempic. It's not losing 40 pounds. It's none of those things or anything else that you want to add on there. It's not going to happen. When your hormones are balanced, that affects your thyroid production. If your ferritin levels are off, that affects your thyroid production. Your thyroid is controlled by the thymus. Your thymus controls in your pituitary every function in your body, every function, including your hormones, including your sex drive, including your fat loss, including your sleep, including your mood, everything. Your hormones. When your hormones become balanced, when your thyroid becomes balanced, your body wakes up and goes, holy hell. Now I remember how to burn fat. Now I remember how to sleep properly. Now I remember I have a sex drive and I'm amorous. Everything starts falling into place and your body, it's like muscle memory almost. Everybody's heard that analogy. When you go to the gym, you lift the weight and, oh, like it's going to take forever. No, it doesn't. If you have a prior history of being in the gym and lifting weights and you haven't been there in 5 years, it's going to come back pretty quick. That's the same thing with getting hormonally balanced. And what does that even mean? That can look a number of different ways. Because what works for me may not work for you. And I'm specifically talking about the delivery system of hormones. Estrogen is very cardioprotective, helps you release fat. Testosterone, same thing, but just uses a different mechanism of action. When you're on testosterone, your sex drive goes up. Your mood stabilizes. It interacts with the testosterone and the thyroid and the ferritin and all these other processes and hormones and organ systems in the body to go, holy shit, now we know what to do. And you release the weight. So are you starting to see the big picture here that when you are hormonally optimized, you may, operative word, may not need Ozempic or Wegovy or semaglutide or tirzepatide or retatrutide or whatever. But you don't know that if all you're doing is using these injectables and not eating and losing weight. What if you could eat the foods that you want, still lose weight? Oh my gosh. In addition to, you protect your heart, you protect your vascular system, you protect your metabolic system, you protect your foundation, which is your bones. And your skin looks better. Your hair looks better. If you get on these GLP-1 agonists without getting your hormones balanced and letting your body remember and get back in the groove of what it knows so well how to do, when you give the body the right tools, it can fix itself. When you do that, or if you don't do that and you're just throwing injections or whatever form it comes in your body, most of the time I think it's an injection. All that is doing, that addresses not one single aspect of your hormonal system. None. All it's doing is slowing your metabolism because you're not eating. So your body has less and less calories to work with. So it slows your metabolism way, 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 way down. In the neighborhood of, I'm going to guess, about 500 calories per day that you're going to eventually learn to live on. Your body cannot sustain itself on 500 calories a day. You can't. Not for very long. And if you're taking all these weight loss or a weight loss medication and you're not hormonally optimized, that is like stomping on the gas pedal with your foot on the brake, and you're getting nowhere really, really, really fast. So essentially, you're not moving. You're going to lose a little bit of weight, maybe, but probably not. So you're going to waste money. You're going to put your body and your nervous system through and your metabolic system through all of this stress, and you're pumping escalated dose after escalated dose into your body, trying to make it lose weight when your hormones are waving a white flag over here going, I need some help. I give up. Please rescue me. And then I do want to caution you, not even caution you, I just want to share with you, and I'll make another video about this, specifically about this. If your practitioner determines that you need hormone replacement therapy, and I'm going to make a note because I'm going to forget it. Okay, there's two things I want to say. If your practitioner determines that you need hormone replacement therapy, there's a lot of different ways in which that can be delivered to you. And I don't mean UPS or FedEx or USPS. I'm talking about you can use a patch, you can use a cream, you can use an injection, like a needle into your belly, in your leg. You can use a lozenge under your tongue. You can use a pellet, which is my personal favorite. I did several of those. They didn't do jack shit for me until I got the pellet. And then I felt like freaking Wonder Woman with a cape on, standing on the top of the building, like, all right, bring it. So my caution, or what I'm sharing with you, is just because you get on hormone replacement therapy, there's still a lot to happen there before you get optimized. Number one, let's say you start off hypothetically on 10 milligrams of testosterone a week. You may need 20 a week. But hormones don't respond, or they don't reveal immediately the results. It's not like take a Tylenol, oh, you get headache relief. That's not the way hormones work. You take the injection, and it's not like tomorrow you wake up and feel better. It takes weeks, weeks and weeks and weeks. So if you get a 10 milligram testosterone and you're doing it twice a week, you may not know if that's going to work for you for several weeks out. That's why you must be monitored by labs and a practitioner who's not just going to look at your labs and go, oh, you're within normal limits. You're good. You don't need any more, whatever. In this case, testosterone. Simply not true. For a woman, I think it's either Quest or LabCorp or maybe both, reference ranges for testosterone is 60 to 80. That is functionally and biologically dead, in my opinion. That's not enough to keep a freaking cricket alive. You know what mine is? I'm not suggesting that you need to be what mine is, but I am telling you that I would be in the corner, curled up under a blanket, crying, sucking my thumb, praying that somebody would come rescue me if my freaking testosterone was 60 to 80. Doesn't work for me. But if you draw my labs, I'm within normal limits. 90% of the practitioners out there are going to look at my labs and go, she's good for 60 to 80. I would become a fucking axe. Can I say that? I can't say that. I would become an axe murderer at 60 to 80. I am good in my head, in my body. I carry lean muscle. It's easier for me to lose weight. I sleep amazingly at 220. And that is literally in the red for lab work, for testosterone. Like I said, most practitioners will look at that and say, oh my God, she needs to just ride it out. She's going to have, no, I don't have a tiny penis. No, I don't have a beard. No, I don't have chest hair. None of that stuff. You may at 220, but I don't. That's why you have to find your sweet spot. Yours may be 50. I hope not. And here's the other problem with that. If you get a practitioner that says, wow, you're at let's just use the low end of normal. What did I say? 60. Let's say they say that you're within normal limits and you don't need anything, but everything is off. You can't lose weight no matter what diet you do. You can't sleep. You're moody. You're spare tire. Nothing is right about your life, and you feel stuck and you're frustrated. And they're not going to give it to you because according to labs, you're within normal limits. Find another practitioner. You know, when I was working EMS, the first rule of EMS is A, you don't kill people, but two, you treat the patient, not the monitor. So if you're looking at a heart monitor and you got a flat line, but your patient's talking to you, which can be possible for a number of different reasons, but obviously you're not just going to treat the flat line, right? Because your patient's talking to you. No, you're going to treat the patient. Same thing here. If you feel like absolute hell and your practitioner or prescriber says you're within normal limits and they're not going to give you testosterone, walk out the door. Next, find somebody who will. This is the challenge about hormone, not only balancing, but optimization. If you are not optimized for you, not what the labs say, if you are not optimized for you, you're never going to be right. You're never going to feel right. You're always going to feel off. You're never going to be at your ideal weight. You're always going to hold weight. You can look at a Cheeto and gain 15 pounds. That's just the way it works. It's so important to find somebody who understands. Don't just throw Ozempic at a woman that's 40 plus. Don't do it. You will jack her up for life. Maybe not tomorrow, but you're going to jack her up for life. Check her hormones and stay on top of them. I had a lady the other day. Gee willikers. Her practitioner, a PCP, don't let your general practitioner prescribe you hormones. They don't know what they're doing. Lovingly and respectfully, I say that, but it's the truth. For 99% of, well, maybe not 99, but a large majority of primary care physicians have no clue. Most of them don't even agree that women, oh, I got to get my protein shake. Hold on. Hold on, I'm coming. I'm coming. Most of those practitioners don't even think that women need testosterone or hormone replacement therapy. And if they do, they have no clue how much or to prescribe them. And thirdly, they have no idea that you need to be monitored on a quarterly basis. I don't know if I shared this with you before, but I'm working with this lady now after her practitioner has totally screwed her. Not in the literal sense, but you know what I mean. But in the sense that she prescribed her vaginal, which is fine, vaginal estrogen and a double dose of progesterone. The typical dose, and you can kind of use typical doses for progesterone, but not testosterone and not estrogen. For progesterone, most women need, once they get leveled out, 200, and that's the sweet spot forever. But they prescribed, she walked in, she had all these symptoms, and they prescribed her 400 milligrams of progesterone. Again, not a bad thing. That was 8 years ago. They have not checked her labs since then. So she's way, 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 way over on progesterone. Her dose of estrogen, can you see that? Can you see that? Like that. Again, about enough to keep a cricket alive for about 2 days. She is miserable. This poor lady is miserable. And zero testosterone. Zero. She can't lose weight. And I mean, you know the story, but my point is she's prescribed this by a PCP and she's using vaginal estrogen, which does jack shit for being cardioprotective or bone protective or systemically, meaning overall protective. The only thing she's protected from is her uterine lining is good. That's it. That is all vaginal. Vaginal estrogen is good for local protection only. That's it. No bud, no bud, no blood, no bone, no brain, nothing. Which is why she's in the pickle that she's in. And she hasn't been dose adjusted since last year on estrogen. And she's been on that exact amount of progesterone for 8 years, 400 milligrams, because her provider said, oh my God, you're so low. Well, let's just go ahead and double you up. Never even thought to recheck her progesterone levels. What is the point of the story? Be cautious if you're letting your PCP, your primary care provider, dose your hormones, because I could almost guarantee you, if you can even get them, it's going to be wrong. And good luck trying to get a dose that's adequate for you and your physiology. Not with labs. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that's going to work for you. And the delivery system, that might not be adequate for you either. Oh, I think I mentioned that. Let's skip that part. So, should you take Wegovy, or sorry, should you take GLP-1s, weight loss medications, or should you get your hormones balanced if you're trying to lose weight? There's your answer. I don't care how old you are. Get your hormones checked. You could be 20 years old and have PCOS and be insulin resistant, and that be why you're not losing weight. So then you throw these prescription pills at that at 20 years old, and you're looking at a lifetime of headaches and problems that are just starting if you're in your 20s. When all of this could have been addressed if somebody knew what they were doing. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be on these GLP-1s. I'm just saying that you need a complete picture before you make a decision. And are your hormones jacked up? Are they non-existent? I think there's a good chance that they are. Again, even if you're 20 something, there's a good chance that you have PCOS. And excuse me, I have to do this. I've worked out and I have to get stuff into my body. But there are things that you can do to address PCOS without losing weight. That's not the problem. Your metabolic system and your thyroid and all of that is jacked up when you have PCOS. Yes, you can. You can micro dose GLP-1s. Who was blowing me up? You can micro dose GLP-1s, which is a little bit different than just taking a regular weight loss dose. That's a different video too. So there's a lot going on here, guys. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Don't just blindly think that, oh, I see a video online and I'm going to go in there and get a consultation and they're going to send me my shit in the mail and I'm going to inject it and be skinny in a day. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't. And if you lose the weight, if is the operative word, how much more badly are you screwing up your metabolic system, your hormonal system, and your thyroid? Who knows? All right, that's all I got for you. I hope this was helpful. And drop some comments. Let me know what you want to see next time. I have a couple of ideas, but I want to make sure that I'm sharing with you what you want to hear. All right. Cameron out.